If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Adam Vorce, you're on the clock. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. And, well, today, wow, the Orioles made a move. They trade Jake Arrieta and Pedro Strop. I mean, that was great. And they got, Steve, they got, Garver, and then it was just great trade for the guy, Feldman. And, they really set themselves up for a postseason. Now, this trade isn't going to set them World Series. It doesn't say World Series, but it does make them a better team. It certainly does because, let's face it, they don't have an ace. And it's really unfortunate that they don't have an ace because I remember, Eric Bedard and Jeremy Guthrie. I'm very hesitant to throw around the word ace to, maybe Miguel Gonzalez or Jason Hamill or even Tillman. You put these guys on any other team, they're number 2 or 3, but we don't have an ace yet. But this trade certainly helps them to solidify a playoff contender. And, Feldman, he can certainly help this team. And, that's what they did with Joe Saunders last year. And, they can do this. I mean, the only thing that concerns me is how long can they do this? I mean, it certainly helps, yes. But when are they going to be able to get an ace like CC Sabathia or Justin Verlander? Or can, Bundy or Tillman, can Tillman win 10 more games this season? I'm not sure, but maybe he can. Maybe Tillman, Gonzalez, and Hamill can step up and be an ace. But I'm just very hesitant to say that, because it's hard for me, when everybody was saying, well, Jeremy Guthrie can be an ace. He never fizzled out to be one. And, this team last year was very successful, and Joe Saunders did very well for them. And that's what the Orioles build their team. Dan Duquette has been a genius, but let's not forget Andy MacPhail, who brought a lot of these key guys in. His fill-ins weren't so successful. Duquette has proven that his fill-ins have been a lot more successful. Chris Davis, Crush Davis. I mean, look how successful he's been this year. 31 dingers on the year. I mean, he might finish with 50. I mean, he has just been incredible this season. And Duquette, MacPhail brought a lot of these guys in, but his filling guys weren't that good. So Derek Lee, Vlad Guerrero, Kevin Millard, he was okay at first base, but he was old and he had to retire. So Duquette and Showalter are the perfect combination. And Showalter, a coach always downplays the value of himself. I mean, managers are so important in this game. And, like high school managers for teams, they always downplay the value because they always say, players aren't as, managers aren't as good as if they didn't have any players around them. But it does make a difference. It does. What Showalter has done with this team, it's very essential because, if you go back, when Tremblay was around, they didn't have any oomph to them. And it was, Showalter and Duquette are the perfect combination. And it's certainly, we have a successful team, and it would be successful for many years to come here in Baltimore. So this year, maybe a World Series to add. Maybe a 4th? We'll see, because they haven't won a World Series since '83. So we'll see if they can add another one. It'll be very interesting to see what they can do, and especially with this trade. These guys, one of them will be in the minors, and one of them is going to be starting. So, we'll see what happens, and see what happens with these guys, such as Bundy. He'll be back. It'll be a setback for another year, but we'll see if Tillman, can have another 10 wins. That will be great. So there's a lot of things that this team has, and another thing I have to mention is Brian Roberts. How important was that for him to come back? He hasn't played a full season since '09. So I have been critical at him at some points, but I'm very happy for him to come back and try to contribute to this team. And he was part of the key frame of this team. I mean, Markakis, Roberts, Wieters, Hardy, Machado. I mean, the list goes on. And for him to come back healthy is so important, because it would have been very unfortunate if he would get injured again. But for him to come back and contribute is very important for this team to be successful and maybe, win a championship for this team, because, he was a part of the down years of this franchise. And all these players know that it was great to have that season last year. And that's why last year was so sweet. And when a team's not as successful, these players want it so bad. And that's important, because they've been together, they know each other. It's not like they just started out. Adam Jones, Markakis, Wieters, Hardy, Machado, the Gonzalez, the pitching staff. They've been together a few years now. So it's very essential for these guys to keep the motivation going, and they have a great time in the clubhouse. I mean, you see the great times they have, and they have a lot of fun. They're relaxed, and they laugh. They chat a lot, and that's what you want. That's what a World Series team is like. Not a lot of hesitation between players. Not a lot of fighting or arguing or any of that. It's relaxed. They have fun, and that's what it's about when you have a contending team and trying to win a World Series. That's what the Orioles, and that's what Dan Duquette and Buck Showalter have done with this team. They built guys, and that's what we hope that the Orioles can do this season. And I'm Adam Vorce, and thanks for listening.
Good job. You snuck out and wrapped it up nice, man. So yeah, but you've been in a studio before, so you know you're wearing. By the way, those are the best headsets I've ever seen. Not only any contestant wear. Sears, be honest with this kid. Those are some. That's a great headset.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not good enough to have those. Those are good. Do they really sound different?
Yes.
I think they do. I've tried them a couple times.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.